and welcome to another edition of Tonight with R2. I'm your host, Art of the Icky, and we've got a first time guest to the channel, and I'm going to bring her out here now. We have got the wonderful Lisa H., also known as Yelcat on X. How you doing? Welcome
Hi,
to the channel.
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Glad to have you. Um, and yeah, this is the first time I've had you on. I've known you for a while. I've known you kind of as acquaintances, at least I'd say 3, maybe if not 4 years.
I know we streamed together at least one time.
We have over on an acquaintance channel, Yeti F 8750. I think we've been on at least once, maybe twice. I can't remember if I've been on there twice or 3 times.
You've been on there at least twice.
Okay, yeah, it's at least twice. Maybe it's 3 times, but at least twice. And yeah, the second time you were there because you were for a while you were doing kind of like almost like the first third of the show. You kind of had like your own dedicated like section.
Yeah, and then he would kick me off. But
Yeah,
that's just as well because it was past my bedtime.
yeah. No, I do remember that. Like you're talking, that all of a sudden he's like, "Get the hell out of here, Lisa!" He booted you. It's like, wow. Yeah. No, I've always wanted to have you on a guest when we were doing the movie reviews. It just, as you're trying to kind of figure that all out, and it was just one of those things that just hadn't gotten to that point. But I'm excited to have you on for this and to find out about your favorite movies and shows. But before we get into all of that, besides being I guess a contributor to 8750, you also have your own YouTube channel, right?
I do. I sometimes knit and sometimes I show off my knitting, and that's about it.
You do have a recent video too. I noticed you uploaded the other day.
Yes, I knit a lot of crap this summer.
Yeah. When we were talking about, I was telling you about my sister's very much into that, and then my original co-host Maria, she doesn't knit, she crochets, but we were talking about her a little bit. But yeah, it seems to be a something a few of the people in kind of this community you kind of stumble across. They do as a hobby. And you say it's to relax, but you've also explained to me it's not always very relaxing either.
No, not always. Sometimes I am very, very tense and have to put things down and put things in timeout, and they know what they did.
How many knitting needles have you broken?
Broken. Well, my needles tend to be metal, so I would have to try really hard to break those. But some of them have like a cable that connects them. They're circular needles. I've probably gone through about 4 or 5 of those. Some of them I'm trying to make work, but need to replace them. Like the cat will chew them sometimes.
Oh,
And
okay.
then, yeah, and I don't even like this cat, and then that will make the yarn snag. It's my daughter's cat. He's obnoxious. We don't get along, but
You're like, damn it, kitty.
yes, pretty much.
Wow. So it's not even your doing. It's the cat's fault
It
to the
is.
failure. Okay. Gotcha. I did kind of wonder if you used wood or metal with knitting. I mean, it makes sense to use metal because with knitting, it's a lot smaller. Crocheting's a little bit on the bigger side, correct?
Nope. No, you can do either gauge with either project. It just depends on what you're trying to make. So
Okay.
I've got some super teeny tiny needles that I use to make socks. Somewhere I've got a pair of needles that are like an inch thick. I don't know what I would make with those. I think I was given those. My husband will see random knitting things like on clearance aisles and bring them to me. And I'm like, well, I appreciate the thought. I don't know what I'll do with this, but
Sounds like when the cat brings you a dead thing it caught. Here you go.
kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can get knitting needles that look like Buffy the Vampire Slayer is about to go kill somebody.
that's funny. That doesn't surprise me. When you mentioned the ones being like an inch in diameter, I'm just like, that sounds like drumsticks to me.
You could do that too.
Yeah.
They've got kind of a square top a lot of the time, so that may not work out so well, but, um, maybe if you got a custom pair, because 'cause they'll sell them at, like, Renaissance fairs and whatnot, whatever they're
Okay.
wood turning.
And I gotta ask, I know you're a very big fan of Halloween. You like to dress up. Are you big on Renaissance fairs too?
I don't tend to dress up when I go to those, because there's a lot of mud,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of sweat, and there's a lot of gross people and beer and porta potties, and I just don't find it conducive to dressing up. And plus, like, the big Renaissance festival around here is, Scarborough Fair. That happens in late April to May, and that's just when it's starting to get hot around here. We're not acclimated to it yet, so Ye I mean, these Renaissance costumes, you're gonna wind up with some weird tan lines, or in my case, sunburn lines.
Fair enough. Yeah, we have one. We're just right down the road from the county fairgrounds, and they do one.
Mhm.
I want to say I'd have to. My wife would know because she always gets the tickets. I did the year prior, but not this past year. But it's like July or like early August, and
That sounds miserable.
yeah, yeah, it's not a very big Renaissance fair. It's pretty small. But yeah, some of the people though that are dressed up, I just go, I'm like, yeah, like what do you do if you got to use the bathroom? Because I'm like, you got a lot of crap on. That's a lot of gear you had. A lot of layers you're wearing.
And, like, when I dress up like, my Halloween costume is Winifred Sanderson.
Yeah.
It's the Spirit Halloween version, and I've worn it 7 years in a row. I am amortizing the heck out of this thing. But I have figured out, okay, I gotta wear my leggings with the pocket, so I because, you need pockets, this dress doesn't have any,
Hmm.
and then I have a hood to go with it or with a cape, so I can cover up a backpack if I need one, but yeah, going to the bathroom is an adventure.
I believe it. When you said Spirit Halloween, it made me think of like a lot of my nephews when they were little, like really got into dressing up, and they wanted me to dress up with them, and I remember trying to get like costumes there, and
Mhm.
this is when I was thinner, so I mean I fit into everything better, but when it was like, made for a tall person, it was not made for a tall person. I
They
was
are made for Chinese tall people.
I yeah, yeah, yeah. They are very off when it comes to somebody who's 6'1", 6'2". Like that's like I felt like Mr. Burns in every single costume I tried putting on. So
Well,
yeah.
I'm tall, and I'm surprised that this dress actually comes down to where it's supposed to hit, because if a short person put it on, no, she'd be tripping over it. So there's some inconsistencies there, but I think Chinese people think it's a plus size costume because I got it to have the extra room.
Hmm.
If they're wide, then they must also be tall, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always work so well for especially in women's clothes.
Yeah, well, I think anything from China over here in America, there's got to be issues with it. But no, that's very cool. Yeah, very awesome. Well, right now, only in the chat, I see Mrs. R2. She's downstairs watching, and I'm actually broadcasting over at Rumble for the first time. It actually worked. I was kind of wondering what was going to happen there, so it'd be interesting if anybody from Rumble comes by to say hello. So, well, with that, we're going to get into it, and first, before we get into your favorite movies and TV shows, we're going to ask you 10 rapid questions. Are you ready?
My answers might not be rapid, but you go right ahead.
Well, we'll make do. Don't worry. It's 10 rapid questions a name, but yeah, it doesn't always come out very fast. So, all right. Favorite color?
Blue, actually teal,
Teal.
which is a shade of blue, but we're gonna
Sure.
go with teal.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Favorite food?
Pizza, deep dish. I like to chew my carbs.
Now, there's two different types of deep dish. Do you like Chicago or do you like Detroit?
Detroit.
I like Detroit
I
too.
mean, I'm not gonna turn down either one of them, but, like I said, the thicker and chewier the crust, the better.
I hear you. I was gonna say though, Chicago deep dish is more like a casserole. Where I was born in Michigan, so to me, I like Detroit deep dish. I think that's better. Favorite drink?
Okay, I'm a really boring person. I'm gonna go with water.
I think now
That's what I go for most of the time.
now we had somebody else say water, but then they kind of specified more and they said they liked sparkling flavored water.
Oh, no, that's gross.
Okay, so you
No,
you are a
I
purist.
I am just a plain old we run it through a filter, it's just plain old tap water.
That is pretty
It
boring, but fair enough.
it is.
Hey, cold filtered tap water, or I should just say, just cold filtered water can be pretty good. So I I totally get that, and I don't know if I highlighted this or not. I think I did, but just really quick in case I forgot, I feel bad. All right, I changed things up in the order this came in. So first thing you'd buy if you had $1 million.
Oh, build a house.
Build a house. That's I think you're the third person to mention a house. So
I'm not surprised about that. There are probably a lot of people that
you can't go wrong with it. It's a good way to spend $1 million. So I
I
totally
mean,
get.
I wouldn't even spend $1 million on a house. I don't want $1 million house because I don't wanna pay the taxes on a million
Well,
dollar house,
not
but
saying that you would spend an entire million, but it's a good way to
yeah.
spend probably a good chunk of your $1 million if that's what you had.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Well, and then you can sell your old house, and then you got a little bit more money too. So,
Well, no, because we're on a hunk of land. We've got a spot
oh, okay.
set aside for the house, but
Oh, there you go. All right, you've already got the plot.
mhm.
Just need the moolah.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. Well, yeah, no, good choice there. Bullet train or a ferry boat? And by ferry boat, I mean like like the big paddle in the back, like a river boat.
Okay, I like terra firma, so I'm going with the bullet train.
Okay, one essentially is it's a fast way to travel or it's a slow way to travel. So, but
I've watched Titanic. I don't enjoy boats.
okay, no problem. India or Mexico?
Well, I just saw that video from India about the poop festival, so I am going to bypass that at all costs.
Was
I'll
that
say
real?
Mexico. It is because the guy kept getting doxxed and people were threatening him on on airing that um, because they didn't want it to hurt their reputation and H-1B statuses and I'm like,
There's
yeah, by
there
all means, let's import more of that.
There's a feces festival in India. That's real. I thought that was like a joke. I thought that was like just a.
Know that they like collect cow dung and they
Oh,
use that to celebrate the end of Diwali. Now, to be fair, there are poop festivals in the US, but they are like tossing cow patties like a frisbee. They're not wallowing around in it like pigs.
yeah. Well, cow patty's usually been dried out.
Exactly. There's a difference. Like, I didn't see anybody accidentally eating the poop in the US video.
Ew. Oh. Oh man. I'm that. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so Mexico by default.
Mexico. Hey Tom, you showed up at a perfect time, Rogue Attraction, and my wife says ew. Um, don't eat the chocolate at the festival. Oh God, I'm gonna I'm gonna start
Well,
gagging.
don't eat anything there because I'm pretty sure nobody washed their hands.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, so so rough. Okay. Well, enough of this question. Ian McKellen or Patrick Stewart?
Oh, that's a rough one. Can we combine them into Ian Stewart?
No, no, you just got to pick
Oh,
one.
okay. Okay, then I will go with Patrick Stewart.
Okay. Bette Midler or Cher?
Bette Midler, because she played Winifred Sanderson.
All right. A rocket backpack or a flying broom?
Well, really neither, but I'll go with the flying broom because it seems like I might have more control over that.
All right. And then this, how this works. This is played off of. It's like the marry, smash, delete. This one is just based off their career. So keep their career, change their career for the better, or just delete their career entirely. And if you notice with pictures, I always like to pick themes. So we've got Jessica Chastain, Anne Hathaway, and Natalie Portman, all making the most obnoxious faces I could find.
Okay. I think I have only ever seen Jessica Chastain in one movie, so we can delete her.
Okay.
And then we've got um huh. I guess we'd keep Winona Ryder and change Natalie Portman.
You mean keep Anne Hathaway?
Oh, is that Anne Hathaway? I'm looking at this. It's very small on my screen. Okay.
No, no
Um,
problem.
okay, keep Anne Hathaway. And I guess make Natalie Portman work with Winona Ryder. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So we would delete Jessica Chastain's career altogether. We would keep Anne Hathaway's career just the way it is, and improve Natalie Portman's career for the better. All right, fair enough. Again, no wrong choices there. It's just to see what you think there. So, all right. With that, we will get into the main topic of the evening. And oh, real quick, we got our first Rumble person ever, Alaska Man Jeff. Hey, thanks for swinging by, and drive safe. But appreciate you tuning in and listening. So thank you. Um, and so the slide for your movies, I just put them in the order that you sent to me. I don't think you specified, but you did mention earlier you may not remember, so I'm assuming maybe you don't remember your picks that you sent me.
No, I meant I may not remember the entire plot line,
Oh yeah, no worries. I think
but
with
I did
most of
print
your
out notes.
I think with most of them I can help you along the way. Maybe some of the TV shows I might be a little lost, but with that we'll go with your first movie, Braveheart.
They may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, you definitely have had to have heard that quote, whether you've heard it from the movie or somebody say it. But
If you've seen a guy with a blue face, that's it.
yeah, well, for those who might be watching this, listening to this, or catching a replay, if they haven't seen Braveheart, what's it about?
Braveheart is the story of William Wallace, who was a freedom fighter for Scottish independence in, let's see, my notes say 1280 against Edward the First, known as Edward the Longshanks of England. Um, he he goes off as a teen or as a young child with his uncle after his parents' death. I think his dad was fighting for this cause. He comes back as an adult, marries a young woman in secret because the English have instituted the right of prima nocta, which is first night. And he doesn't want to share his bride with whatever prick of an English noble comes along. And so they marry in secret. But then somebody attacks her, and he really didn't want to get into this fight. He just wanted to live a peaceful life, be a farmer, raise some sons. They attack his wife, and fighting ensues, and now he's in this fight whether he wants to be or not. He makes friends along the way, and they have big battles against England, and they actually win one. which was very surprising. Um, and that's where the freedom comes in. He also happens to meet the Princess of England. She is the daughter-in-law of Edward Longshanks, and her name is Isabel. She is French. Um, they're negotiating, and of course, smooching happens and more. And by the end of the movie, Wallace gets captured. He is in prison. And as he is being executed, Longshanks has gotten ill. He's taking his final breaths. And the princess tells him uh, the gist of it is, you're dying. Your son is a weakling. I'm going to be running the country. And the child that I am carrying is Wallace's. And then the dude dies. Wallace dies. And then they have one last battle with, or led by Robert the Bruce, who incidentally is allegedly one of my ancestors. I don't know about that, but that's what somebody came up with. He's the guy that runs around in the bear cape. And they beat the English once again and become their own nation, at least for a little while. The end.
Yeah. Um, no, I mean that kind of covers it. I mean, but the only thing I would add there is when it's discovered that him and his wife are married, they end up killing her as like
They
to
didn't
make
even discover that they were married.
yeah,
The
but
soldiers just happened to see her in the marketplace, and they're like,
but
"Oh, I like her."
yeah, but but because she protests, they make an example of her.
Mhm, mhm.
And that just in typical, if you've ever watched a Lethal Weapon film, it's turning into a rage monster is Mel
That's
Gibson's
one
kind
of
of
Mel Gibson's specialties.
yeah, his a little bit of his shtick there. And not only that, the Longshanks, his son, is gay. So
Oh, totally.
yeah,
Like,
his
Longshanks throws his gay son's gay lover out the window. Death by defenestration.
he does as he throws him out the window. Longshanks is like gay. No. uh, that'd be.
And the
I
son is
feel
just
bad
like,
saying it, but I'm like, that'd be
"What?"
hilarious if he did it, but it's pretty brutal what he does. At the same time, it's all around brutal. Um, it's got a great cast, this movie, because you've got Brian Cox plays his uncle. Uh, Brendan Gleeson plays his childhood friend, and kind of
Mhm,
kind of the big strong guy in the Scottish Army.
mhm.
He There's a crazy Irish guy that they befriend who constantly tells everybody that
Steven.
Ireland is his island. He owns it.
Yep.
Um, and gosh, who plays Longshanks? I think it's Patrick Noonan is his name. He's
Let's see. Patrick McGowan? I don't know if
McGowan.
that's actually how it's
I think
pronounced, but
yeah, Noonan, Magoonan, something like that. And I want to say he's technically not British, but he can play a British guy phenomenally well. He's like Frasier, he's very uppity, snooty. I'm
well,
trying to
now
think.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what you would call that, like aristocratic,
Mhm.
in his
No,
personality.
he is Irish American.
Oh, he's Irish
Okay,
American.
Irish
Okay, so
American.
I was half right there. Yeah, yeah. He was also. I mean, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but towards the end of his career, he also was the judge in a Time to Kill, um, which
See,
was like
I don't know a lot of Bond movies before, um, oh
Brosnan.
gosh, Pierce Brosnan, yeah.
Was he in a Bond film?
Well, you said A Time to Kill. I thought that was a Bond movie.
Oh no! Time to Kill is Matthew McConaughey and Samuel
Oh,
Jackson,
okay,
Sandra
okay.
Bullock. Yeah. That's A Time to Kill does sound like a James Bond
It
film.
does.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think what is that. Are you thinking of License to Kill? But yeah, Time to Kill. I've never thought that until you said it now. Like that. That totally sounds like a James Bond movie. Um, that's too funny. But yeah, phenomenal cast. He won a couple Academy Awards for this. I know he won
A View to Kill.
View. Yeah, yeah. View to a Kill. And yeah, I mean this is a really good movie, but it's a brutal movie to watch. Yeah, the battles
It is.
are wild to see, and then yeah, he's
It's like 3 hours long, and
yeah.
probably half of it is hacking and
Well, that sword that he's holding, I mean, it's damn near as big as him, and I'm trying to think of what it is. That a Scottish
the Claymore.
broadsword? Clay, yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Um, and because that's what Kylo Ren's lightsaber was based off of.
Okay.
But with the handguard, you know, that the big handguard on that. That's what that's based off of. Even that, I'm trying to think the exact name for what that is. But yeah, no, this is a great pick. Haven't seen it in a while. Now that you brought it up, it makes me go like, oh, I need to check this out. I'm sure it's playing on like some streaming service right now.
I don't know, but I somehow wound up with, like, 3 copies of it on DVD.
That's funny.
I didn't set out to do that, but when I moved out of my first or when I moved into my first apartment, I was too cheap to get cable just yet, and so I went and bought a copy of Braveheart. I watched it probably every weekend for a year.
Wow, that's
I'm
impressive.
not gonna say I paid attention to it every time, but it was on in the background.
No, I get that. With sometimes yeah, watching movies that you like, but you're not really watching. You've seen it so much, but you like having it on. You like having it in the
It's a
background.
comfort movie.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, good, really good pick, really good movie. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And yeah, we'll uh, we'll go on to the next one, and that is My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
No, this is just a great girl comedy. Um, Tula Portocalos is 30 years old. She works at the family business, and she is single. And a Greek girl's entire purpose in life is to marry a Greek man and have Greek babies. And as her father says, she looks old. Um, she doesn't really want to work in the family restaurant. She decides to take some college classes, and you watch her build confidence in herself, and she does the makeover. And whenever they need to take a pretty girl and ugly her up, the first thing they do is put really ugly glasses on her. So she ditches the glasses and gets contacts, and she starts doing her hair, and she starts taking some computer classes, and she approaches her aunt who has a travel agency. She's like, "Can I come work for you? Because I could bring you into the 20th century, get you all computerized instead of having to do everything on paper." And the aunt's like, "Sure, but how are we going to talk your dad into it?" And her mom pipes up and says, "Don't you worry. The husband is the head, but the woman is the neck, and she can turn the head any direction she wants." And so they have to make the dad think that it's his idea. And so they're sitting at the restaurant. The dad asks the aunt, "How's business?" "Oh, business is bad. Very, very bad. I need someone who can work on computers." And the dad's like, "Wait, Tula knows how to use computers. She went to school for that. She could come work for you, and you send your daughter to come work for me." So they're just trading out labor. While she's working at the travel agency, she meets this guy named Ian. He is not Greek, and she starts dating him unbeknownst to her family. They're sneaking around. She's 30 years old. She can date who she wants, but whatever. And eventually the family finds out, and the dad's like, "You didn't ask my permission to date my daughter." "Well, fine. Can I date your daughter?" "No." he leaves. He's like, "I'll see you tomorrow night, okay?" Sure. Well, eventually he proposes, and now you have the lead up to the big fat Greek wedding because everything is an ordeal and a production. And they're highlighting the difference between her family and his. He's an only child. He has like two cousins that he sees like every 5 years, and she has like 35 first cousins. And they show up, or Ian brings his family to meet her family, and they just completely overwhelm the family. Her dad meets them. They're roasting a pig in a spit in the front yard. And he's like, "My name is Gus. These are my children, Anita, Diane, and Nick. And this is my brother, whatever his name is, and his children, Anita, Diane, and Nick. And my other brother and his children, Anita, Diane, and Nick." Joey Fatone is in this, by the way.
Well, there, instead of
Um,
Nick, it's Nikki. I
oh,
wonder.
yes. Yes, because it's a girl.
Yeah.
Um, so they the wedding day, she wakes up and she's got a big fat zit right on her chin. And they had to redo all the makeup. And the funny thing is, during the blocking of it, she was going to have the zit on the other side, but she woke up that morning when they were going to film with an actual zit, so they had to change it all around.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Ian had to convert to the Greek Orthodox Church in order for the family to get along with this. Nikki is his godmother, and she gets a little too into the baptism, but
And he's in a little kiddie pool too. Like that's
yeah, yeah, they're like dripping oil over him, and she's like rubbing it in or whatever. Um, the dress is like the poofiest thing you've ever seen. The wedding invitations, the mom went and got them done without her input. So they've got a Greek flag on the top, and the Ian's parents are, I forget what the dad's name is, but his mom is Harriet, and they spell it Harry, and they sing
yeah.
this thing out.
Rodney and
In the
Harry.
end,
That's who it is.
yes. And in the end, the dad gives this lovely speech. And as they are getting they're in the limo on the way to the reception. And she mentions to her new husband that, "Oh, I had this zit." And he's like, "Yeah, me too." And he's like, "What? How'd you get rid of it? I don't even see it." Well, her dad's thing is any skin ailment, put Windex on it. And
Yeah.
that's what her new husband did. And so her parents buy them a house, which happens to be right next door to their house that looks like the Greek Parthenon. And at the end of the movie, they show the couple walking their daughter to her first day of school. So I guess
Greek
life turned out
school.
pretty well for them. And
Yeah.
there is a 2 and a 3. I have seen 2. I have not seen 3. I heard 3 kind of bombed.
I've only seen this one. And you know, to me, I mean, it's a romantic comedy. I wouldn't entirely call it
Mhm,
a chick flick. It's romantic comedy, but it's very much it's two opposite cultures clashing together.
mhm.
And at the core, you just have two people that love each other, and one just she wants to get away from her family and culture, and at the flip side, he embraces it and he loves it. He doesn't mind it at all. Um, but it's a really good film, and it was I don't know if it did beat yeah, I want to say I think it did. Didn't it beat Blair Witch Project, or maybe it was the highest or made the most like money for like an independent film that wasn't an R rating or something like that. I mean, it was a huge
It was
box.
the ninth highest grossing film of 2002.
Yeah, but I want to say it was an independent film, and
Mhm.
it yeah, it was like huge too. But I can't remember if it made more than Blair Witch or if it was just second to that, but it was the most for something that wasn't rated R.
It
Um,
grossed 368 million against a $5 million budget.
yeah, it was
I don't have
wild.
anything about Blair Witch.
Yeah, I not off the top of my head, but it's hilarious. It's a phenomenal cast. I was gonna say yeah, cousin Angelo, and then right behind her is her cousin Nikki. And they, when they're introduced, they almost though like argue like a couple when you first see them, and you kind of like that's what I thought at first. I thought they were dating, and then I realized they were siblings. And yeah, her whole family, like she's got like a big sister who's like real nosy, and then she's got a younger
Mhm.
brother who's a bit of a slacker, but he's actually kind of the only one that supports her um, wholeheartedly. Her younger brother.
Yeah, because for all the emphasis on having a son, the dad seems to ignore the son a lot.
Mhm.
'Cause his ambition is to be an artist. He's like, "Hey, dad, I drew this artwork for the new menus." Yeah, 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 whatever. So he kinda understands what she's going through
Yeah.
and
Well,
why she might not be so eager to drag a non-Greek into all of that.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then too, like you kind of brought up with her being, like they make her like real, unattractive and frumpy, and yeah, she's got these big old glasses. She's wearing like this brown, unflattering outfit. She looks like a sack of
Mhm.
potatoes. And him and his buddy eat at that restaurant. And she's in love with him, but she's terrified to let him see her. And his best friend in the movie is actually played by her husband in real life,
Yeah.
uh, too. And Not only that too, yeah. When the dad finds out that they're dating, because one of the cousins like sees them at the movie theater like sucking face and rats her
Yep.
out, and so the dad starts setting her up on blind dates with like
Yeah.
just like old, like either old Greek men or like really like
Or
stereotypical like
whiny.
oily, greasy looking
Yeah.
like yeah. There's like this one guy. He's actually got hair kind of like Ian, but it's like way greasier looking, and he's like sucking
Uh-huh.
on a spoon, winking at her at the dinner
Uh-huh.
table. And the brother is the only one who's just like he's got this look of like he feels so bad for her throughout the whole ordeal. And Oh, and the aunt, she's in the bottom there. It's Andrea Martin from SCTV, and she's been in so many movies and like side characters. But she is hilarious as the aunt because when they first meet the parents get
Uh-huh.
drunk on ouzo, which if you've never had it, it's Greek liqueur and it's licorice flavored.
Well, that sounds terrible.
It's actually not that bad. I've had it before. It's far better than Jägermeister. It's almost like black licorice flavored schnapps is a good way to kind of call it, but it's not. At least the stuff that I've had, I wouldn't say like it's extremely strong on the black licorice flavor. And But she's like telling them all about like her health problems. She's like
The lump in her
they
neck.
they pulled a tumor out of her and it had a tooth, and she's like, it was my
It's
twin.
it's just like the very first time she's met these people. It's like she's
Oh,
gotta let them in on the secret.
oh yeah, yeah. It's one of those things that at the same time, it's like that feeling with relatives like that. At the same time, it's like it's all out of love. Like they're going overboard, but they're trying to be nice and
They're bringing
inviting.
them into the fold.
Yes, yes, and then too, right? Like it's like the morning of like the wedding, and they're getting ready, and the mom gives her this speech about being a tiger in the bedroom, and she's like, "Don't ever say that to me again, Hugh." uh,
Oh, that is just the speech every woman wants to hear on her wedding day.
and even more so, I get a big kick out of this movie just because of cultural differences. And my my wife is Filipino, and not that my wife has anything against her culture, doesn't like it, she loves it a lot. But like, family get-togethers, and like they will have like a roasted pig there, and the family is loud, and just all so much thing so many things are going around, and there's tons of cousins, and aunts and uncles and everything. And like, I think about this movie and that, and I get such a big, chuckle out of it. I love my extended family. They're wonderful. And, um, but yeah, it does just, slightly can relate to that. And like we got married, her parents threw a big reception for us, and it did. It made me think a lot of this movie at times, but it
Did
it
they
was
buy you a
great.
house?
They didn't buy us a house,
Dang it.
but just again, just such differences in cultures and everything. But you know, I love all of it. And like I said, the only difference I could say is Mrs. R2, loves her family and how she grew up and everything, and um, but yeah, no, this was a really good pick. This is a good movie, and I did look it up. You can watch Braveheart on Prime or Pluto TV. I think Pluto is free, but My Big Fat Greek Wedding is on. I think it's only HBO Max, or if you have that bundle with Disney and Hulu, I think you can watch it across the three platforms. So if you have one of those, you can watch that right now, both those films. But yeah, another one, you got to check this out. It's a good movie. I would almost say too, and if you are dating somebody where there is maybe a cultural difference, this is a good movie to watch with them to see how they may react to the whole thing, if they squirm a lot or if they laugh at it.
This is one of those things where people will say, white people have no culture. Well,
Oh yeah,
this
no,
family did not.
yeah, no, that's definitely not the case. But yeah, no, great pick. Well, let's get into your next one. I have not seen this one, but I know this is a very big, popular. It's technically it's a documentary, correct?
It is, and it's one of those where they cram like 30 minutes of information into an hour and a half show.
Hmm.
So this is Unknown Number, the high school catfish. And your two main players here are these two like 13, 14-year-olds named Lauren Licari and Owen McKinney. And they live in this very small town in Michigan. It's like if Michigan is the mitten, their little town is right there in the middle, and I think there's like 30 people in their class. It's a very small school. So these kids start dating each other. Like I said, 8th grade, 9th grade. Um, everybody is happy that they're dating. Their families become close, and starting in like October of 2020, they are getting ready to go to a Halloween bonfire. And they start getting these weird text messages from an unknown number. And it's basically that, oh, Lauren can't make Owen happy. I'm going to hook up with Owen at the party. And the kids talked about it. And they're like, well, do you know who sent it? No. They kind of check around friends. Nobody knows who sent it. The party happens. Nothing happened. The text messages go away for like 11 months. So the following September, right about the time they go back to school, these messages start back up and they start getting very aggressive towards Lauren, saying things like, you shouldn't wear leggings because nobody wants to see your flat anorexic ass. She's 14. Um, they're telling Owen to break up with Lauren. Again, they ask their friends, did you send this as a joke? No. Messages keep coming in, and they're coming in during school hours too. And sometimes they reference things that the kids have talked about at school. And so Owen will start to look around when he gets a message to see if anybody else has their phone out. No leads. Lauren comes home from school upset one day, and her dad asks what's up. So she tells him about the messages. And both of the kids' parents go to the school because the messages are coming in during school hours, and the school is responsible for the kids during those times. And the school admin interviews Lauren and Owen, and they suspect that Lauren may be sending the messages to herself. But, like, their reaction is like, "Oh, no, no, no." And then said, "Oh, that's a very genuine reaction. So we're gonna rule them out." And they never suspect that Owen is sending the messages, by the way. Or at least they never bring that up. It's always, "Oh, maybe Lauren's doing it for attention." So the school comes up with possible solutions, and the principal, says, "Well, you could just block the number." But they're coming from different numbers. You block one number, it just comes from another one. It's like a random phone number generator. Change the kids' numbers. Well, the parents don't want to do this because, number one, why should we have to go get them a new phone and that expense? Number two, they still don't know who is sending the messages. And if it's somebody they know, they don't want to accidentally invite this person into their house.
Really quick, I'm going to stop you on one quick thing, but like, you don't have to go get a whole new phone to get a new phone number. You can just go get a new phone number.
Maybe these people didn't know that. I don't know.
Those slow pokes from Michigan.
Yeah, rural life. Uh, And so finally, the principal tells the kids, whenever you receive one of these messages, let me know so I can go check the phone or the video security footage to see if there was anybody else in the building that was on their phone at the time. Well, that didn't work out. And the parents are like, could we please just get you to enforce a cell phone policy? And the principal's like, oh, no, we can't do that because they're useful educational tools. Now, on a side note, Texas just banned all cell phone usage from first bell until last bell. You can't even have it out like during a break. But they have a school issued iPad. So, like, what's the point? So back to this. In
Well,
the
I was just gonna say with the iPad, I mean, you got to set up a whole lot, technically to do that. I get what you're saying. And I'll even throw in my son when the school he's in sixth grade. We did get him a cell phone. Um, and yeah, what they do is all the kids are issued a pouch with a magnetic button on it, and so like they're responsible for it. So if they damage it or anything, it's like $100 um, that we'd have to pay. But it's almost like it like unlocks like when you go to like shopping at like Ross or um, where they have to like put it on like a little thing to like release the magnet, and yeah, they can't use their phone at all during school hours. I mean, I guess if they really needed to get into it, they could take a pair of scissors and cut into it. But yeah, that's what they do. At least out here for the kids with phones. I don't know how it is in high school, but the younger kids, they got to put them in a pouch.
My kid just has to put hers away, and I think she's technically supposed to have it turned off, but I've also got it set so that like locks down, so all she could do is like make an emergency call to me if
Yeah,
she needed to. But I mean, really, she just needs it at the end of the day. She doesn't need to be on it during class. But
yeah.
I will tell you, all the kids have installed like Pinterest on the school iPads, and they use that to chat. So
Okay,
they're they're gonna find a way to get around it regardless.
sure.
Yeah. So moving into November of 21, these messages start getting pornographic in nature. And I'm not gonna, because we're on YouTube. We're gonna be we're gonna use YouTube words. Lauren starts to get insecure and she's questioning Owen's loyalty. And the couple breaks up, hoping that this will stop the messages. Like if we give them what they want, maybe they'll leave us alone and we could try again later. But the messages don't stop. And then they start encouraging Lauren to execute Minecraft and then threaten Minecraft on Lauren. In January, the school brings in the sheriff. Now, this has been going on for 3 months already. Officer Maine is the sheriff, and he has decided he is looking for a group of close friends. We're in the middle of basketball season, and Lauren starts getting messages about her athletic performance. And one of the messages, um, well, sometimes the messages are, I know what you're doing, and sometimes it's, we know what you're doing. So that's why the officer thought he was looking for a group of friends. Um, Lauren's mom starts wondering if maybe somebody on the team is jealous. And one message talks about how many points the sender scored in a game. Now, Lauren's mom was like the volunteer scorekeeper, so they went and looked up who scored that many points in the game. It was just one person, and her name was Chloe Wilson. And she was a friend of Owen's who kind of had a crush on him, but she also had a reputation for being kind of a mean girl. And Lauren and Chloe didn't get along. And Chloe's family was the one that hosted the Halloween party where the original messages started coming up about. And the police interviewed her. She said, I didn't do this, but did you grow up in a small town?
Um, I've lived in a small town before when I was a kid.
Okay. So for people that did
In
not
Mi
grow up in a small town,
in Michigan, by the way.
so number one, everybody knows everybody.
Mhm.
And number two, half the people in town are related to each other. And number three, everybody knows everybody else's business. So when people are getting called in to be interviewed by police officers at school, all the kids know it. And so they automatically assume, oh, that person did it. Well, people suspected Chloe now, but they also thought, oh, she's going to get away with it because her dad's a cop. So the officer interviews Chloe's friends who say, Chloe wouldn't be that dumb. She's not going to send this. Owen's mom talks to Sophie's mom. Sophie is best friends with Chloe, and Sophie's mom, it's very convoluted, but they're trying to ask your daughter if she knows anything. And Sophie's mom goes through her phone, doesn't find anything. Owen's mom asks, "Can we talk to the basketball team parents to tell them what's going on and ask them to check their kids' phones?" And Officer Main's like, "That's a great idea." The principal's like, that is not going to happen. Then Owen's mom starts sending messages to Chloe pretending to be Owen, trying to get her to confess, and he has to apologize to her about that. When Chloe's family goes on vacation for spring break to Florida, the area codes for the unknown numbers start coming from Florida, like almost as soon as they got there. So it really looks like Chloe is doing this, but Chloe turns over her phone for a forensic download, and there's nothing there. And then Owen starts getting messages showing or pictures showing him and Chloe together. And he's like, okay, she wouldn't be this dumb. So he's starting to think, oh, well, maybe Chloe's being set up. Um, he he gets a photo that shows him at his house at a Christmas party. And so they're looking at, okay, who was at this party that's also in your grade? And his cousin Adriana goes to school with them. And she's in a group of quiet girls who is definitely not friends with Chloe. And so now everybody thinks that Adriana did it. But then Adriana gets a message from an unknown number telling her to tell her parents that Lauren is a bitch and needs to be kept away from Owen. So now, okay, nobody thinks that Adriana did it anymore. Um, Come April, they bring in the FBI. And there are 720 pages of messages at this point. Sometimes they're getting like 50 a day. So this agent does a full extraction on Owen's phone. There's nothing linking to any of his friends. Around this time, Owen starts dating a new girl from out of town. She lives like a couple of hours away. They met at like a sports tournament or something. Out of the blue, this girl's mom gets a random text from an unknown number telling that girl to back off of Owen because he belongs to the sender. It's like nobody in this town knew these people. So, like, how did they even find that number? So, the FBI manages to trace one of the phone numbers sent or that the messages were sent from to a service called Pinger, which is an app that people would use to send a message from some number other than theirs. So he gets a warrant, and Pinger provides him with two IP addresses that belong to Verizon that use those phone numbers. And so then he gets a warrant from Verizon for these two IP addresses, and he gets a list of phone numbers attached to that IP address. And he talks to Owen's mom, and he gets a list for all the phone numbers for all the contacts of the kid's friends. And there's no matches. And so in a last ditch effort, he says, "Well, what about all of the adults?" And there's a match. Do you wanna guess who it is?
I know who it is.
Okay.
It's pretty shocking.
The match comes back to Lauren's mom, Kendra Lakari, the same one who started to wonder if there might be someone on the basketball team who's jealous of Lauren. It's like the question her interview up until now has been super duper weird. But, you it once you get this bit of information, you're just looking back like, "Why would you even frame it like that?" So, the FBI agent meets with the sheriff, provides his findings, and the school admin's like, "Oh, well, she's always been such a supportive parent. She volunteers a lot at the school. She's a volunteer assistant coach at the school. So she's had access to these kids." Um, the sheriff goes to Lauren's home with a search warrant for the family's devices and phones. And he says that the messages came back to her phone. And she's like, "My phone?" Like she just can't believe that, such a thing would happen.
She just breaks
But
the
then
phone in front of them and starts eating it.
that would have been a plot twist. Um, but then she says, "Well, I didn't send the first messages. Those were totally random." But and then she's very concerned about other people finding out because how can Lauren go to school if other people know that I did this? Like, well, maybe you should have thought about that before you did it. Um, they call Lauren's dad to come home from work, and apparently she has lied about her job status. She had apparently quitted, or she quit the job, but she told him that she was laid off. And they've been having financial problems this whole time, and she's just been lying about it. They've moved several times during all of this. Also, her Lauren's dad informs the cops that, oh, she's got multiple devices. She's only handed over one at this point. And so the cops are threatening to tear the house apart to find all the devices, and I guess they finally get them. The dad kicks
So
her out.
really quick, so did she bought like a bunch of burners? I'm assuming.
I don't know because, like, I'm sitting here with 2 phones right now. It's just an old one that I didn't trade in,
Yeah,
so maybe it's that,
yeah.
or maybe she'd recently upgraded.
You've got one or two like old phones that never got traded in too, but like you certainly couldn't be going like getting Android after Android or iPhone after iPhone. Like, yeah, you would have to be buying like some cheap burner smartphone.
Or maybe if you have a tablet.
Yeah, I guess that too. And I mean, like you said, there are apps that let you, like make your
Yeah,
own number. But, like even
and
those like now are limited. Like I think like you can only do like one at a time, or you have to pay for each one.
well, she wasn't sending the text messages from the phone, she was using some other app.
Yeah, but I'm just saying nowadays. I think like even then, like you can't. I don't think because of things like this, you can't even do that. Like you can do like one, it'll let you do it, but to do multiple, yeah,
I
you have to pay. I think.
maybe she was paying for it, I have no idea. But so so you have all of this buildup, and it cuts to the mom is just sobbing, and it's like, "Everybody makes mistakes. None of us is perfect. We've all broken the law, like drove drunk and didn't get caught. And then you're just in the same place I am. I'm sorry, I've never driven drunk."
No.
That's kind of a big leap there. I've
Yeah.
certainly never texted my daughter and told her that she's ugly and that she should Minecraft herself. Um, and then they cut to an interview with the mom's cousin, and she's like, "Yeah, she's a good person, but she loves attention." And she was very always involved with Lauren and her activities. They're very, very close. Um, Kendra still claims that she didn't send the original messages, and um, she says that she started sending messages because she wanted to get to the bottom of who sent the original messages and was hoping that the kids would ask, "Is this so and so?" that she could get like suspects that I guess she
Yeah.
could then go beat up or something. I don't know. But yeah, the sheriff and Lauren think that she started the whole thing anyway. And then she's like, "Well, I might have picked up on some of her insecurities. The messages weren't really to target her insecurities." And the director asks, "So were you sending those messages to yourself then?" "Oh, yeah, I could have been."
I
They're like,
could have
"Really?
been.
You were—" We're like, "Yeah, that could explain it. This could make me not look like the world's worst mother."
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say too, and like I know you're toning down a lot of what was said. Like this lady said heinous things to her daughter. Like, how could you do
And
that?
like what would have happened if she had actually acted on this? And then
Yeah.
she would still make herself out to be the mother would still make herself out to be the victim. And even in court, she pled guilty to 2 counts of stalking a minor, one for Owen and one for Lauren. And she's there crying in court and is like, "I am very disappointed in myself. And I have a mental illness and childhood trauma that I have just learned about." And yeah, that so she pled guilty to 2 counts and she was sentenced to 19 months in prison. And I think she served the entire 19 months. She's out of prison now. As of the recording, Lauren and Kendra had not been in contact with one another. I think it was a condition of the court that they're not allowed to, like, they can communicate, but they can't be in person together. And even like some of the messages that Kendra sent Lauren from prison, um, one of them was, "I'm mad at you. You just said goodbye. You didn't say you love me." It's like, lady,
Wow.
maybe you need to like back up.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing. I mean, like, I could. It's absolutely inappropriate for him to do so, but like, I could see a parent pretending to be somebody and like making a comment about somebody else to like try and see how somebody might react, but to attack their own child.
Yeah,
That's just
and
that is like I said. I could totally see a parent trying to pretend to be somebody and attack somebody else via text message or say something to try and stir up some kind of reaction. Um,
right, like what Owen's mom did to Chloe to try to get her to confess. I
mhm.
understand that, but she wasn't, you know, making sexual innuendo texts
Yeah,
to a 14-year-old. And Owen's mom is convinced that Kendra was obsessed with Owen because even after Owen and Lauren broke up, she was still like trying to do stuff for him, like, "Oh, can I get you a drink?" And just really overboard for your daughter's ex-boyfriend. And just the nature of some of the texts that Owen got. I mean, they were, it's like they would make me blush if I got them, and I am most definitely not a high schooler anymore.
yeah. Like I said, I haven't watched it, but I heard so many people talking about it and was like, "Holy smokes!" I know Mrs. R2 watched this, um, but
Yeah, it's one of those documentaries that will make you feel better about your own parenting.
yeah, I, I'm sure. Well, at least I know I'm not a monster.
I'm better than that.
Yeah, yeah. Golly, that's nuts. Right. This is on Netflix. I want to say.
It is.
Yeah.
And
And
it is about 90 minutes.
okay, okay. Um, we had a few people swing by. Science Fictionary drop by. Thank you for swinging by. And we've got Matt Cat is here. And
I knew Matt Cat would be here.
yeah, yeah. and appreciate you being here, sir. He says that Pinger is what he calls his Johnson. Um, good to know. Matt, Cat, and Pinger are here, and I don't know if he said this wrong. He said sometimes kid just destroy be attacked. You might have to rewrite that one, buddy. Um, and Kendra Lamar. I don't think Kendra Lamar. Yeah, this story is just it's fascinating, it's bizarre, and it's upsetting. It's like such a weird mix of emotions and reactions to it. But yeah, the biggest thing is how could you
Well,
do that to your own kid? And I mean, other
they
than
didn't they didn't show this in the documentary, but I read that apparently Lauren and her dad both kind of started to suspect that her mom might be behind it in like July of that year.
mhm.
I didn't get a reason why they suspected her, but so when the cops actually tell Lauren, "Yeah, your mom's behind this," she's yeah, she's upset, but she's not angry because I think she was expecting it. And the dad was more upset that she had lied about her job initially, and then that she had done this to their daughter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like there's it's like what other things did this mom do to her family?
Right,
Which
right, there
again
has
is
to
just
be.
yeah, which is still just it's terrible and awful. Yeah, no, this is wild. I was gonna say, I kind of wondered what you were gonna say about this, and I love your synopsises that you've given for everything, especially this one. I could tell you really, really love talking about this one. By the way, with just the way you
The
shared the story, it was great. It was so good. Thank you.
it's just the way the mother tries to play herself so innocent in the first half of the interview, and then, "Oh, anybody could have done this." You're like, "No, no, not anybody
No,
could have done this. This takes a real special kind of person."
yeah, no decent person would have done this. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, not even more so. I'm like, now I gotta watch this. This is just nuts. I'll have to maybe throw it on tomorrow while I'm working. Well, no, I appreciate you sharing all these choices. I think these were all really really good. Like I said so far, hey, this was only episode 7, but I am impressed. I don't think we've had a single duplicate on any pick yet.
Well, I tried to do that on purpose because, Braveheart, if you've seen Braveheart, you probably love Braveheart.
Hmm.
But, yeah, some of the others are I tried to go a little bit off of the beaten path.
Well, if anybody picked a duplicate, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, it's your choices. It's what you want to talk about. So, I, uh, I totally get that. I am grateful though. Like it hasn't been like everybody going Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, MCU. For their movie choices. So I've been very impressed with everybody so far. Um, but yeah, no, thank you for sharing all those. I'm now your TV picks. At least I want to say from what I remember, like two of them, I kind of felt were very unique. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say about these. So I think without further ado, let's get into your TV shows.
All right, which one first?
Well, again, they're in the order that you sent. So first off, we've got Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, and I'll throw out there like I'm familiar with the shows in the sense of like I think I kind of know what Star Trek characters belong to what shows, but I've never watched them. Though I do remember, commercials for this all the time um, back in the day. But this one
Yes.
seems to be I don't hear a ton of people talk about Deep Space Nine compared to some of the other series. So why this one?
Okay, Deep Space Nine, a lot of people actually love this one as the best of it. And there's a lot of subtext to it, but the gist of it is whereas all the others are a ship that is going from galaxy to galaxy every week, Deep Space Nine, they're stuck right there next to the wormhole and Bajor, and they have to stay there and deal with the consequences of their actions. You still have um, the new alien of the week. Somebody new comes through the wormhole every other week, and but they are stepping into the Deep Space Nine territory instead of, oh, the Enterprise found this new planet of weird people that are like half black and half white, or half white and half black, or whatever
Yeah.
they are.
Okay, so Deep Space Nine is really its reference to they're on a space station monitoring.
Is it? Yes, the space station is Deep Space Nine. There's, Deep Space 1 through 8 as well, but Deep Space Nine, I guess, is further out. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never actually seen a map of it, but I
And
assume it's further out.
I guess my other question is, so you're talking, you mentioned that they're essentially dealing with what comes through this wormhole, but they're
Hmm.
never traveling into the wormhole, correct?
Oh,
They're
yes, they
only
do.
they do.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So the wormhole is discovered in the first episode, and I don't even remember how it happens, but they end up moving the space station near the wormhole to kind of guard it. So whatever comes through the wormhole, they are the first line of defense. Later on, they get a ship called the Defiant. Now, I'm going to be real honest. This show came out in January of '93. This was the Star Trek of my teen years, and it was my favorite because of Dr. Bashir.
Now, really quick, you said 93. I thought, I mean, I knew this was 90s, but I didn't realize it was that early in the 90s. Wow.
Mm, yeah.
So, real quick before you get into the character that you like, I already see there's somebody from Next Generation. I see Worf is there. What's the
Yes.
and Worf has shown up not only um, Next
He's a
Generation,
popular guy.
but I know the guy who played Worf played a Cleon in one of the
He
original
did.
series movies, but he wasn't playing Worf there. Correct? He was
It
playing.
was General Worf, who's like an ancestor of
Yeah,
Worf Son of Snoke.
yeah. It was related, but not the same character from Next Generation. But I'm assuming this is the same Worf,
Yes.
and how did Worf end up here, and what's the time or the age difference between Next Generation and this? When this starts off, how many years is this separated by?
If I remember correctly, there is a movie called Star Trek Generations
Mm-hmm.
in which they crash the Enterprise on a planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I mean, there's no Enterprise for him to be assigned to anymore, and so he is assigned to Deep Space Nine, and he is moving from security to command. So he is learning how to be in charge of a station and in charge of a ship.
Okay.
And so in later seasons, a lot of times you'll see him as acting captain of the Defiant.
Okay. Very
Um,
cool.
the the whole show really starts finding its footing when Worf gets there, not necessarily because of Worf, but because they are finally getting into an actual war that they're dealing with that week in, week out. And so there are a lot of Klingon related episodes. Um, they focus quite heavily on Worf, actually, kind of in the same way that when Voyager brought in Jerry Ryan as deep as Seven of Nine, it kind of became the Seven of Nine show. In a lot of ways, Deep Space Nine kind of became the Worf show, but not to that extent.
Okay.
But to me, it was always the Bashir show.
And which character is the doctor? Which on is they're in the
Um, so right there in the center, you have Captain Sisko.
Yep.
And so to his left, that is Dr. Bashir. And I will say my tastes have changed since then. Don't judge me. I was a teenager. But so his name is Julian Bashir. He is like 29 years old in the opening episode. He has just graduated from Starfleet Medical, second in his class because he mistook a preganglionic fiber for a postganglionic nerve on his final exam. And like that comes up so many times. You would not believe how many times that comes up. But as it turns out, he had actually thrown the exam because he wanted to be um, Deep Space Nine was the post that he wanted. But if he had graduated first in his class, he would have had first pick, and everybody would have expected him to take the post on the USS Lexington, which was like the new flagship, or not necessarily a flagship because that was still the Enterprise, but it was going to be like the latest and greatest technological
Hmm.
marvel. But he wanted to practice frontier medicine, and to him, that was Deep Space Nine.
Gotcha. Another thing I want to bring up, like I said, I mean, I didn't watch this at all, but I mean, I remember seeing commercials for it, and I
Mhm.
remember, I had family that was really into Star Trek and watched this. Didn't seem like a single person cared about the fact that the captain of the show was a black guy.
No, nobody cared.
Yeah.
It was I mean, Cisco was great at it, very wordy,
Hmm.
but in a different way than Picard was. Um, but my understanding is that Avery Brooks, who is the actor that played
Hmm.
Cisco, he's very much the same way. So I think he put
Gotcha.
a lot of himself into that particular character.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, like I think about with just how right everything is so identity focused today, and like
Yeah,
back then, like I said, like
but
nobody cared. I mean, I remember a lot of people saying that they liked Captain Cisco a lot too. So,
yeah,
um,
he's a very
yeah.
likable guy. He's a single dad because his wife died in the attack on Wolf 359, which is where Picard became Locutus of Borg.
Hmm.
And so there's a lot of tension between Cisco and Picard. They only meet up the one time, I think, but yeah, Cisco really doesn't want anything to do with him, but he'll do it because he has to.
Yeah, and I was gonna say to the doctor's left, right? That's Dax. I can't think of her name, but I remember her from Becker with Ted Danson. Um,
Terry Farrell.
yeah, and then to her left, I know the guy's name is Renee. I can't think of the rest of it, but he was the preacher in The Patriot
He
with
was, and
with
he
Mel
was
Gibson.
also the voice of the chef that was trying to cook the lobster in The Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's funny. Oh,
Rene Aubergenois.
yeah, yeah, he's another like really really good actor.
Mhm.
And
And Chief O'Brien, he was on Deep Space Nine from the start, but he was also on Enterprise.
And that's the guy second to the right from Cisco,
Yes,
correct?
next to
Right.
Worf.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Kira is the um, first officer of the station, but she is in the Bajoran military. She had fought in the resistance against the Cardassians. And so Deep Space Nine brings in, I didn't realize this as a teenager, but as an adult, I realized, oh, that's totally Jews and Nazis. Okay. They portrayed that in a very different way in the 90s than they
I,
would today.
when the Kardashians were becoming popular, I was like, wasn't that a race from Star Trek? I was like, oh, that's the Cardassians. And then now I don't know Star Trek well, so I feel like I might say something stupid. Um, the guy behind Worf, what alien race is that? Is that Ferengi?
He is a Ferengi,
Okay,
and they
those.
are all about the money.
Gotcha. That's what I thought. And that guy too was like, what was his name on the show? Because I feel like if I heard it, I'd be like,
Quark.
That's right.
There
Quark.
were a whole lot of Ferengi episodes too.
Yeah, yeah. I remember like flipping through the channels, and yeah, I would catch the show, and it was very heavy with that alien race.
Mhm.
And then who's like the in the top right there, the lizard looking guy?
It Well, you got 2 Cardassians there. On the left is Gul Dukat, and oh, on the right, that's, Garrick, who is one of Bashir's best buddies. He was
Okay,
a he was a spy, but he won't admit that he was a spy, but he was totally a spy.
okay. So the reptile looking guys are Cardassians.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. And are they
They are the bad guy, or
they're the
well,
bad guys? Okay,
the Cardassians occupied Bajor for several years until the Bajoran resistance managed to kick them off of the planet. There were, like, concentration camps, and, I believe Deep Space Nine was actually a workstation, so they were, like, mining ore and refining it.
yeah,
So, Deep Space Nine was a it's Cardassian technology, and occasionally that gives Chief Engineer Miles O'Brien fits because it doesn't integrate well with Starfleet technology all the time.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Alaska Jeff says, yeah, never really got into Star Trek. It same thing with me. I hear so many people talk about it and love it, and I've tried. In fact, I've got the original series. I bought them on like Voodoo at the time. I think now it's technically Fandango. Um, like they had a sale, and I was like, I'm going to get these. It was like $15 for all 3 seasons, and I've only watched a little bit of it. And then a couple people just they're like Next Generation. Watch Next Generation. It's great. And that first episode, I have tried, man. Like that was like one of the toughest things for me to watch because it's like the whole thing with Q and the court judgment thing. It's like I don't know what the hell is going on when I watch it.
Get to
Uh,
about the 3rd season. Basically, the seasons where they have the lower cut uniforms where you can see their entire neck,
uh-huh.
ignore them. Go to where they have the higher neck uniforms.
Okay, okay. Well, and so as a Star Trek fan, I would almost say like what like if you had somebody was like, "Hey, I want to start watching Star Trek. I don't know where to start." Where would you recommend them to go?
It really depends on what your tastes are because they're all very different.
Gotcha.
Um, so, I mean, if you're a teenage boy, go for Voyager. Go for the 7 of 9 episodes. You'll appreciate that. That was her entire purpose of being there. And, like, Jerry Ryan is the entire reason why we ended up with Barack Obama as president. So,
Is that true? Was she a
well, it's
big?
not the entire reason, but okay, so Jerry Ryan was married to a man named Jack Ryan, and, they had a rocky marriage. They were gonna
You
get
mean
divorced.
you mean the Tom Clancy guy?
No, not the Tom Clancy guy, even though it's the same name. But he did not wanna move out to Hollywood with her, so they got divorced, but it was a very contentious divorce, and a lot of salacious details came out in the court documents. Few years later, Ryan is running for Senate against Barack Obama. He's a Republican, and when the details from the court documents came out, he had to resign, or I guess he felt he had to resign, and the Republicans had to replace him with another candidate at the last minute. Can't really get the mojo behind him, and you end up with Barack Obama elected. Um, Now, it was a landslide, so yeah, Obama was probably always going to win. But I mean, when your opponent pulls out at the last minute, yeah,
Yeah,
you're definitely going to. There's like not even a fighting chance. There's like a
sure.
70-30 blowout or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, no, I was not aware of any of that. I thought you were going to be like Jerry Ryan was a big Barack Obama supporter, and that's why. Because yeah, I mean,
It makes
I
sense.
remember her being everywhere, and I remember going to conventions, and yeah, that was always such a big thing. I mean, it's hilarious. It's like you know you put on a little glue with a little metal thing on the side of your face and wear a silver spandex outfit, and there you go.
Whether you should or should not wear a silver spandex uniform.
That's true too. And Seven of Nine was a Borg, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
She was a human. Her she and her parents were, assimilated by the Borg when she was a child, and so she didn't really have a whole lot of memories of being a kid, and she was recovered, and then they started, like, deborgifying her. And
yeah,
so every Star Trek, um, series has their archetypes. You've got the one who is exploring what it means to be human. You've got your Spock, you've got your Data. In this one, it's Odo. In Voyager, it's Seven of Nine. Um, you've got your captain that does things their own way. You've got you have the one whose primary purpose is to explore mating rituals of alien species.
lovely. I was gonna say, what was the one that Scott Bakula is the captain?
That was Enterprise. So that takes place before the original series.
Yeah,
Um, that is like
correct me
in
if I.
the like 2200s, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do know. Yeah, that's like supposed to be like the prequel essentially to it all.
Mhm.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say like everybody has ranted and raved and said like Scott Bakula was like the best captain ever.
There's an argument to be made for that, because I mean he didn't really have anybody to live up to at that point. I mean, yeah, from our perspective, sure, but
That's what I mean, like a fan perspective. Like if the if you kind of really get into it, like he was, a lot of people say like he was like the best captain. When it comes
um,
down
I,
to it.
Enterprise only had 4 seasons, but in the end, they reduced the entire series to Riker and Troy watching it in the holodeck. So they turned it all into like a holo novel.
Oh, that's strange.
Hmm. I thought that was not the ending they deserved.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'll still keep trying. Maybe one of these days I'll find something Star Trek that'll finally hook me. Maybe I'll have to try this.
You might try Lower Decks. It's a cartoon series.
I've heard about that, but I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, that's terrible too." So
It kind of depends on your taste,
okay,
but it's different.
gotcha. Well, you can watch Deep Space Nine on Paramount Plus or Pluto TV. So uh,
And something goes from Netflix.
okay, okay, gotcha. All right, well, very good. Yeah, no, I was curious to hear what you were going to say about this. I mean, you do. You make it sound good. Whenever I hear people talk about Star Trek, I'm like I hope I can feel that same way where it's
It's
that
one of those things where if you like it, you really like it.
sure. Yeah, I just haven't found that thing yet. I mean, I like the movies. Whether it's the original movies. I haven't watched any of the next generation movies. I think maybe I've seen one, but I can't remember. And I'll get a lot of grief of this. I mean, in the sense of like just sitting down to watch a movie. I like the two J.J. Abrams movies. I mean, I get the flaws and everything, but still, just for watching something like a popcorn flick, they're not bad.
Right. I don't really have a gripe about those. Um, I mean, at least they're not trying to just completely retcon everything. They're
Yeah,
making it a whole different universe. So yes, there are going to be inconsistencies and reimaginings.
Yeah, I mean
That's fine.
the first one, yeah, is definitely a little too heavy on the lens flare. Um, it
That's his signature.
it does not annoy me. It's just like, God, there's a lot of lens flare going on,
Oh,
and
another one.
then the twist of the second movie. I get what they were getting at. I mean, I get the direction it went in. Did it work the same? I get that it didn't, especially for
No,
people.
'cause you're never they're trying to recreate something that is just iconic, and you
Yeah,
can't.
the fact.
And so they
Well,
had to change it.
yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing that made Wrath of Khan so good is the fact if you were somebody who watched the show, you knew that character. The tough
Mhm.
thing with the new one was it was all based on the fact that you had watched those and knew the twist. But if you hadn't seen it before and it was your first time watching anything Star Trek, or right, or, you were all you've seen was the first J.J. Abrams film, the
Mhm.
significance of Khan isn't there. You have no idea who that character is, so um, it makes no sense. So yeah, yeah, no, no. I mean, I
They spend some time exploring um, the legacy of Khan they talk about it kind of in Enterprise, because there's, like, Klingon eugenics going on, and then they talk about it in, Discovery because the, security officer is a direct descendant of Khan Noonien,
okay,
and so, like, sometimes they have to kidnap her to get her DNA or whatever.
okay,
So,
gotcha. I was gonna say that, and then the other thing that it just didn't. It felt so off was Uhura and Spock's relationship.
um, they kind of hinted at that, like, there was some flirting going on in the original series. There
Sure.
there's, like, some episode where Spock is, like, he he's in the cafeteria singing a song or whatever, I'm or maybe she's singing the song, I don't remember, but they have a moment, and
Mhm.
so then they end up turning that into the relationship of the series, and that, maybe a stretch, but
Gotcha.
because I mean, you have to have some kind of relationship in there, or you're not gonna bring in women to watch, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that too. It just didn't feel entirely like it worked.
Not natural.
Yeah, yeah. But okay. Well, I think it's time we go on to your next pick, and I can't remember this one. This is where I'm like, I forget what you had picked, and now it's all going to be such a surprise. I think I remember, and it was Highlander. I was trying to find a picture that showed off as much as the cast as possible, and this is the best I could find. So that's why I went with
They
the.
kind of have a rotating cast of extras there, but, so Richie is one of the, main character or side characters. Tessa in the 1st season, and then she dies. Yeah, like 30-year-old spoilers, sorry. But even after she died, they left her in the opening credits for, like, a whole other season, which I thought was weird, but I guess they weren't gonna go redo it for TV, but okay. Um
What kind of money do you think we have? We're on USA Network.
We got 350. Um, so okay, I started watching Highlander this summer. So this is not necessarily one of my favorites, but it's something that I have seen relatively recently. And the reason I started watching it is because I had so this summer I was training for my black belt in Taekwondo. And when I wasn't working or training or working out, I was sitting and going into battery saver mode. And so I was watching that to, like, keep mindset of, like, martial arts and that kinda crap. So, my husband watched this, like, first run back in the '90s. He really liked it, and so he got all excited that I was watching it, but after a while, he asked, "Do you see it?" "I see it," and because we had been watching a fight scene, and in martial arts, what looks good on TV is not necessarily what would be most effective. And there's this scene where there's so he's bought the dojo and it is being rented out as a scene for a movie
Well,
or
really quick,
like
take
mhm,
one step back because this is not Connor McLeod, right? This is a
this
whole
is not
new.
Connor McLeod. This is Duncan McLeod of the
Okay.
Clan McLeod. So they are kinsmen,
Okay.
but Duncan is like 100 years younger. And
Gotcha.
so I think when Duncan had his first death, Connor helped him to realize like what he was and kind of trained him a little bit.
Mentored him. Okay.
And they kind of just disregard the ending of the first Highlander movie.
Yeah.
Is so I like, are we stepping back in time or something? I don't know. But and you see a lot of Duncan's evolution from a 1500 Scotsman up until the present day. Like the opening credits always show him like being a like very cool with the ladies. He was not always that way. He used to be very uncouth, like couldn't read, and he and his friend were fighting over who was dumber because neither of them could read. He had to learn some manners. Some people had to take him his under their wing in order to teach him not just the fighting skills, but also how to behave. And like his accent gets noticeably thicker the further back in time you go.
Okay.
But but yeah, one of the specific things that I noticed, so he has purchased a dojo. It's being used as a set for a movie, and they bring in this kid. He is supposed to be like the next Bruce Lee. He's like the greatest martial artist of his generation. And he's doing a demo in a park, and he breaks a board with a sidekick. It's one board. And the crowd is like, ooh. And I watched that and I told my husband, I can do that. And that's what they put in a TV show. So there is some stuff that they do well,
Well,
and there is some stuff that not so much.
yeah. You probably. I mean, a couple things go into play. That's probably just a cheap stunt for them to do, and then
Mhm.
I mean, right?
Yeah,
If you don't know anything about martial arts,
right.
most
I
people
mean,
break.
if you did, yeah, um, you would think, oh, kicking a board, that's really hard. Well, I mean, if you don't do it right, yeah, it gets real embarrassing. But
Yeah.
if uh, if you know what you're doing, that one is like my kids have done it. So that's
I just looked it up. You can watch all this for free on Tubi, the entire series. So,
I
uh,
have been watching on Amazon.
yeah, I saw it's on there. I always try to go with the free option though for
Yeah.
folks, just in case they don't have it, aren't paying for something. Because yeah, it's on Prime. It's on Peacock, Plex,
Mhm.
Pluto, um, and then yeah, Tubi. You can watch it. Um, and then he even the third movie right has him in this. It's
I
he
d
fights.
haven't seen that one.
I was gonna say yeah. The third one actually he's in it, and I think he fights the bad guy as Mario Van Peebles.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have seen
Adrian
Highlander
Paul.
1 and 2, and I know they are supposed to be remaking Highlander. Um,
Yep.
I mean, I don't think it needs to be remade, but at least they're involving Henry Cavill, so it should be pretty accurate, unless they try to go remake Highlander 2, and then that will just become utterly stupid like The Witcher did.
I don't think so because I did pull that up because I was like I couldn't remember who they were remaking it with because I'm like, is it Henry Cavill or is it Chris
Mm,
Hemsworth? But yeah, it's Henry Cavill is McLeod. Russell Crowe is playing Ramirez, so that's the Sean
okay.
Connery character. Jeremy Irons is in it, but I'm not sure who he plays. Karen Gilliam is playing Heather, so that's his
Okay.
original wife.
Yes.
And
I would assume that Jeremy Irons, well, let's see, could he be playing the Kurgan?
no,
Or is he playing like the father of
so this is who's playing the Kurgan, which part of me I'm like, just because I don't know, he's so typecast. But Dave Bautista is
uh, but didn't he lose a whole bunch of weight late
that's yeah, that's what I was
recently?
gonna say. So I don't know if it's still gonna be. I don't know what's been filmed, at this point. If
I
he's
didn't
gonna,
think anything because, I think Henry Cavill injured his leg while training, so I don't think they've actually filmed anything yet.
I was gonna say, Marissa Abella is playing Brenda, and I looked her up. I'm not familiar with her, but Kevin McKidd is in this. Uh,
Because they need somebody with a genuine Scottish accent.
yeah, Jamon Hunnison. I'm probably butchering his name, but
I don't know who that is.
you would. He's right. You saw Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yes.
He's the guy in the opening scene who he's like, "You may know me by another name, Star Lord," and he's the guy who goes, "Who?" That's
I don't
that
remember
guy.
that.
Okay, well that guy is in the film. I was trying to see if it said anything about. There we go. Filming. Is there any dates? Oh, they did start filming in May of 2025.
Oh, okay. So he
So
got injured early on.
yeah, so it doesn't have a completion for filming, but yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, having Henry Cavill and a lot of the other cast is pretty good. Um, it's about the only one where I'm like, yeah, but again, eh, give it a chance. I mean, let's see how he does. Is Dave Bautista as the Kurgan? I love. I can't think of his name right now. Clancy Brown is so good. Mr. Krabs, the voice of Mr. Krabs, is such a great,
Oh,
intimidating villain. Um,
okay.
well, I was gonna say you've seen the first movie, correct?
Highlander, yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's
So,
just Clancy
who is he
Brown.
supposed to play?
Oh, the Kurgan was played by Clancy Brown. That's the actor that plays
Oh.
him.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, and he's such an underrated actor. He's so good, but he's the voice of Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob.
Okay. That will that's gonna make me think about that differently.
Well, yeah, it's funny because right, he's the voice of that character. I mean, he was
Now I'm picturing a lobster driving a car listening to Queen.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say his other. I feel like one of his other most iconic roles, and I can't think of his name right now, but right, he's the head guard in Shawshank Redemption, and he gives one of the best lines ever. And when my wife gets mad, I say this to her all the time. Um, but he there's the scene where Andy's like he's like telling him how he can keep this money that he got in
Oh,
inheritance.
uh-huh.
Captain Hadley, that's his name. And he's like, he's like, you're gonna have to go see a lawyer, and it's gonna cost you money. And he goes, bunch of ball washing bastards. So anytime my wife's mad, I just go, bunch of ball washing bastards.
And she knows exactly what you mean.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I love that line. That's one of the best lines ever. But yeah, he's such a good actor. He would have made such a good Sabretooth if they ever did the X-Men like in the 80s.
I'm not too big into X-Men.
I'm just
I mean, I
saying,
know who some of them are, but
yeah, well, Wolverine villain. It's essentially
mhm. Okay.
it's like the mirror opposite of Wolverine. That's just that's the biggest arch nemesis of Wolverine. He would have been a perfect Sabretooth. But sorry to get off topic on this. Yeah, I never watched this show. I remember all the time the commercials for it on USA Network. And they still played the Queen music, at least in the promos for the
Yes,
commercials.
that is the opening credits for all the seasons.
Yeah, and really quick too with the remake, that's kind of the other thing too is like that's such a
The
big part.
soundtrack is such a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like who do you get to do the soundtrack today, and how do they? I don't want to say you can't top it, but you have to.
You have to at least have a nod to it. So, I mean, they've got Adam
Yeah,
Lambert, so, uh, I mean, he's done a decent job
yeah, but
filling in,
I
but
go like don't get Queen like you get somebody else, and it but it's like who is around today that could fill those shoes in a similar way.
I have no idea, just please don't make it a woman.
No, yeah, no, I hear you. But I'm just saying, like music wise, I'm just like, just everybody I think of, I'm like, they're like either just too old and washed up, or it's just like, no, it's not. It's not the same. Like you'd have to get somebody that's like hard rock like that in a way.
Mhm.
Um, that yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
provide a
so much
sound.
rock has gone pop, and that's just a very
Yeah,
different feel from that particular era.
you need something hard rock, but not. I mean, I hate to say it, as much as I'm like I like metal music, but like you can't be like metal. Like it's um, yeah. I don't know who you'd pick, but that'll be the kind of the other big thing of it. And yeah, well, we were just talking about this. We're talking about this. Matt Cat says he loves the show's theme song so good. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's from the movie. But yeah, this pick was like out of all of them, surprised me the most. Because it felt so random. So yeah, I was interested to hear you talk about this.
Like I said, something I have seen at least semi recently, and I was also trying to go with something that, okay, a little bit off the beaten path, so you don't
Sure.
have duplicates. And you'll run into at some point, people are gonna run out of things, but, I mean, there's so much
No,
entertainment out there.
again, I love that you picked something that was certainly different, but the fact that you like it too, I mean that's the other big part of it. It's not like you're just picking it where it's like I saw this. I mean, this is something that you genuinely like to watch. So,
I mean,
uh,
I may not remember all the plot points, but I remember that I liked it.
yeah, no, no, that's totally fine. That's really that all that matters with these picks is just I want you guys, when I have a guest on, I want them to talk about something that they enjoy watching. So, um, hey, it works for me. But no, again, I like the something that is truly different. And I'm trying to think of what your last pick is here, and I can't remember. So I'm, I'm excited to go. Like, wait, what did you pick again? So
The
we'll go on.
only murders in the building.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My wife loves this show. This okay. This one of the bunch, I'll say I'm like I have no interest in this, but I will let you explain what the plot is and the cast and crew here. Um,
So the series in general follows Mabel, Charles, and Oliver as they podcast about solving murders that happened in their New York apartment building. It's called the Arconia. And it's a really, really big building. I think there's like 150 units in it. Um, and they weren't really friends until the first murder of the series happened, and it was like a old friend of Mabel's that she hadn't spoken to in a while. And again, I'm going to be real fuzzy on some of the plot details, but
no, that's fine.
um,
So so when you said that, I was like, oh, it's gonna be so it's they're talking about old murders that happened, but apparently
no,
recent murders. Wow.
yes. So there's like been no murders in the building, and now there's like 5 in 5 years. But they they kind of came together because they all like to listen to a podcast about true crime by this lady named Cinda Canning, who's played by Tina Fey. Mabel kind of grew up in the building, um, but she's about to like have to move out. Charles Hayden Savage was an actor on a police procedural back in the 80s, and that's like how everybody knows him. But uh, oh, I've got a sneeze, and it does not want to come out.
No, you're good. Do what you got to do.
And Oliver was or I guess still is, a Broadway producer of a whole bunch of flops, but he has stories galore of all of these actors that he's known. Um, but they come together and they end up solving a murder, and then at the end of each season, it sets up another murder. And so, oh, well, another season of this podcast, and the podcast becomes a big hit, and so people are like following them around trying to help them solve it or whatever.
I
But the most recent,
I say I'm already like the way you're describing this plot line. I'm like, when this ends, it's gonna be that they are killing the people.
well, they keep getting suspected of killing the people because sometimes they are the one that encounters the dead body. And it's like, what do you do when you find somebody with a knife in their chest? Oh, you pull the knife out and get your fingerprints all over it. And so then you have to like prove your innocence. Um,
I'm like, what
the
a
mo-
white thing to do too. Like, people are dying left and right in this building. Yeah, I'll keep living here.
well, um, they own their units.
Okay.
So selling isn't quite that simple, I guess. But in the most recent season, it involves the mob, um, gambling. So at the end of last season, Oliver got married to Loretta, who was one of the villains from a previous season. It's Meryl Streep, and it really just gives Meryl Streep the reason to just step into whatever character she feels like at the time, which is, what Meryl Streep does. But at the end of their wedding reception, the beloved doorman Lester is discovered in the fountain in the courtyard of the Arconia, and he has died. He's like bled out, so the fountain's all gross and everything. Um, and Oliver is eating the shrimp from his wedding reception that didn't get put out on the buffet. And Mabel and Charles Aiden look at him and they're like, Oliver, whose finger are you eating? Because instead of a shrimp, he is holding a finger, and there's much shrieking. And like one of the mysteries of the season is, who does this finger belong to? So they're trying to like check Lester's dead body at the wake to see, does he have all of his fingers? Um, and then there are they had been approached by a mob wife to help her find her husband who was missing. And they turned it down because that's not what we do. We investigate murders in the building. It's there in the podcast name. Um, Turns out the mobster, they ran a dry cleaning business, and one of the businesses was like attached to the Arconia. So it's like, I guess if they send their dry cleaning out, that's where it goes in that building. Um, I'm actually going to have to get my notes because
No, it's okay.
I'm gonna jumble this up all to pieces. Why did they go to meet the mobster's wife? Okay, so they're oh, okay, because Oliver learns he's going through pictures from his wedding, and there's a picture of Lester in the background talking to the missing mobster. So they take a trip out, they visit this mobster's wife. The mobster is Nicky Cacciamilio, and his wife is Sophia. They have these sons. There's like five of them, and at first you think they're like your typical Italian boys. Like I mean, they're like in their late 20s and 30s, but they're trying to be a boy band, and they are just stupid. And so they are comic relief throughout the whole season. Um, they get dragged along on a date, but they're sitting at a different table, and it's like, "Mom, can I order this?" Yeah, sure, whatever. Um, so Sophia kind of, well, she provides Charles with a deck of cards, and later on, he figures out, "Oh, this one's magnetic. That's kinda weird." And then he looks at it through a glass of red wine, and it's like, "Oh, there's a code on here. It's a map." And so he follows the map, and he and Mabel discover a hidden gaming room underneath the Arconia. And it's not like it's abandoned or anything, it's in use, and you, like, enter it through a maintenance closet or something like that. Um, so Lester had participated in a documentary about New York City doormen, so we learned his whole backstory. He'd worked at the Arconia for years and years and years, and he had started out trying to be an actor, but he ended up really loving the building. He met his wife there, they got married in the courtyard. Um, and he was working for Nikki the gangster as letting people into the secret gaming room. He wanted to retire, and Nikki's like, "No, you can retire when I say you can retire." And I mean, Lester's old. He's like 75. It was time for him to retire, but Nikki didn't want to have to go train somebody else to do all of his stuff. Um, so Oliver winds up in the um, dry cleaning business that's attached to the Arconia and discovers Nikki's body. And of course, the body ends up like falling on top of him because ew. And for whatever reason, he takes the body back to Charles's apartment, and they end up doing a non-invasive autopsy and discover that Nikki had died at the same time that Lester did, but the body was put in the freezer. And at this point, the gang is convinced that Lester was murdered, but the autopsy results came back and said natural causes. And they're like, "What? That can't be right." So they're still treating it as a murder, even though legally no murder has taken place. They get Nikki's body put back where it's supposed to be because it is supposed to be discovered at like 6 a.m. the next morning um, when the dry cleaning business opens, because they figure, oh, whoever put Nikki there the way they did intends for him to be found that way. Only some cops show up and they say, "Oh, I thought the body was supposed to be hanging up, but it's laying on the ground." It doesn't matter, just take it. So now we know we've got dirty cops. Um, so they are still trying to figure out the case of the missing finger. Um, Apparently, the casino has been in use by these three billionaires. They're bored, and so they are just playing games with each other. And each one of them could potentially be missing a finger because one of them is wearing a bandage that makes it look like he's completely missing a finger. One of them wears gloves all the time, and one of them is like obsessed with being forever young, and he's wearing like a kind of like an aura ring. So it's like, okay, well, maybe he's got it attached that way. And as it turns out, they're all gaming, quote unquote, with the mayor, trying to get the bid to open New York's first casino. So they'll call a game night, lose huge amounts of money to the mayor as a way of campaign donations off the books. And they're basically just arguing with each other about who's going to get the bid. Trying to figure out how far into this I want to go before I give it away, because this actually came out like 2 months ago. So, spoilers. Um, there's, um, you've got the characters in the building. One of them has, I don't know why he was in charge of it, but he ends up getting a robot doorman also named Lester. So it's like Lester the human and Lester the robot, but nobody likes Lester the robot because the guy that gets him kind of uses him to snitch. Um, hmm.
Like, is it like an actual like robot, or do they have like somebody like a human where it's like I am a robot?
No, it's an actual robot.
Okay.
It looks like a modern day version of Johnny Five. So it's
Okay.
like the very Japanese version, but think that, but with a nicer outer shell.
Okay.
And
I got you.
so he can video record everything and has, because he's a robot, he's got total recall, and he's like throwing out hints everywhere that, it's like if somebody had just asked him at the beginning, what did you see? Like they would, or like having access to all of the video footage. Because you've got one of the billionaires he's like a play on Elon Musk, but you can't tell how old he is because he talks about like world being in World War II, but he looks like he's 50 or maybe 60. I don't know. He's like getting parts replaced constantly, but he also owns like the security camera companies that like everybody uses, and it's all stored to the cloud. And there's really no such thing as a cloud. It's just somebody else's computer. And so he'll have video footage edited to make it look like, oh, this guy just fell into a fountain. He didn't get pushed or anything. So they are they have to go save the Arconia, and it gets down to the wire. So I will let you watch it and find out
I
the
was gonna
rest of it.
say the billionaire that you said that looks young.
Uh-huh.
What's his name?
Sebastian
Okay.
something or other. It goes by Bash. I
I
might
just
have it on my notes, but that text is so tiny.
I was looking at on IMDb the cast of this, as you're talking about it, like, okay, who's this?
He's got gray hair, but let's see. Bash Steed is his name.
Oh, Christopher Waltz plays him.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so he's a tech mogul, and you've got Hotelier Camellia White, or can't Camilla White? Camilla White, that's her name. Like I said, this is some tiny text. Um, and then there's a kid named Jay who is like a nepo baby, and he's really just trying to um, prove that he can make business decisions and like make a name for himself. He's like, oh man, New York's first casino, that's like Rockefeller shit. I mean, they don't really care about making a name for themselves. They have a name. They have all the money they could ever want. He just wants to be known for something other than being a rich kid.
Yeah. See, looking at the cast, they got a fair amount of like well known people on it too. Like
They
I see.
do. They bring in, like I said, Oliver's married off to Meryl Streep. Um, Renee Zellweger is one of the billionaires.
Uh,
Um,
I see Paul Rudd is in this. You said, yeah, Tina Fey,
yeah,
Richard Kind,
yep.
Nathan Lane,
Uh-huh.
Cara. I can't pronounce her last name. Della. I can't think of it.
I
Um,
don't know the name off
yeah,
the top
yeah,
of my
yeah.
head.
Jane Lynch, Zach
Yep, he died.
Galifianakis. Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, in one season, they were going to sell off the rights of their story, the movie rights of their story, and so Zach Galifianakis was going to be Oliver.
Okay.
Um, let's see. She was one of the Desperate Housewives. She's the Hispanic one.
Yeah.
Eva Longoria was
Yep.
going to be Mabel, even though she's like 10 years older. And then who was going to play? I can't remember who they were going to have play
Eugene Levy.
Charles. Yes, that was going to be Charles. And
Okay.
so they're shadowing them as they solve a mystery, and then they start coming up with like their own theories, and um, that's it was interesting. And they like don't like their own, or like who's supposed to play them, and the actors don't like them either, but they're Like if somebody is trying to play you, they're gonna imitate you like when you're there, and they find that very, very annoying.
Yeah. I also see Tia Leone is on this. Keegan Michael Key plays the mayor.
Yes. Taya Leone is Sophia, the mobster's wife and mother of the really stupid boys.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
she and Charles, they have chemistry, and uh, that chemistry leads him to do stupid things. I mean that it seems that happens quite a bit.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it looks like they're looking at this and I'm like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. I know who that is. They were
Mhm.
only on one episode, but quite the eclectic cast there. I don't know. There's so much going on with what you explained on this one. I'm like,
There's a lot of
Star
stuff that goes on.
Star Trek sounds easier than this show. I'm sorry.
It might actually be. I mean, at least with Star Trek, you've got the lore, and everybody knows who a Klingon is.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
This one, you're like, why is that woman dressed like that man with the same haircut?
I was just for my wife. This is her jam. Like my wife loves mysteries and murder stories. And is
I
always
tend to go for murder podcasts,
she does. She
um,
listens to a couple
but
of them.
not police procedurals.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, a police procedural, it's a 1 hour show. By the time you put in commercials, it's 40 minutes. They're going to spend at least 15 minutes on character development. So we're down to what, 25 minutes of actual policing. And I'll tell my husband, that person did it. And sure enough, that person did it. So, like, nah, not my thing.
Gotcha. So no Law and Order for you.
No. And I remember that being on when I was little. I had a babysitter that would watch that late at night, and I was like, I had to sleep in the living room at her house, and
Yeah.
she would play that and MASH. And I was like, I don't care for either of those shows now.
I was gonna say if I don't know if you saw it was when Horror Amarada was on. One of her show picks was Mash, and I kind of said I'm like as a kid I'm like it was so slow and boring, and for me it was always the sound of like okay anything that you want to watch is now over because Mash is on.
And
uh,
I'm willing to bet if you watched it as an adult, there was a lot of humor to it, but as
yeah,
little kids, you're like, "What are they
she
dying?"
she liked it as a kid. Um, so I think, well, I don't want to say. She mentioned her age, and I was like, okay. I mean, we're in the same age
Yeah, I know
range.
her age. Yeah, we're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the
Well,
same
I
boat.
just, want to be polite and respectful, especially with women. I don't want to give away their ages if I know them. But yeah, I mean, she's in my age range. I'm assuming you are as well, just based on what you've watched and what you've picked. Um, but yeah,
I
it's
will
funny.
say I am old enough to be in the market for a good eye cream.
I'm a man. I have no idea what that statement means. But okay, well, we'll go with that one. I'm in my early 40s. I'm still 11 years old at heart, so um, I think that's typical for most men.
Well, I mean, I always enjoy a good fart joke.
Me too. Me too. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all these picks. These were really really good. Whether they're things that interest me or not, I love hearing about people talk about what they like and enjoy. And hopefully, too, anybody who listens, I hope that, with any of the guests, I hope somebody tunes into at least one of the things that you picked and comment and share that with us. So again, thank you for sharing all these. These were really, really good. I also too like this cast is so strange to me because I'm like, you've got 2/3 of the three amigos, and then there's Selena Gomez. Like, just those two guys are just so much older than her. It's so strange to me. Like, it's such a weird choice. I like all these people. Don't get me wrong. It's just like that is such like a strange mix, if that makes sense.
And they play off of that through the whole series.
Okay.
Like like they understand. It's like one of them will be the tech savvy one, and one will be, you're they all have their different strengths. So, I mean, if you had 3 people that were lifelong buddies, you would they would have so many common life experiences that, they wouldn't be talking about them, and you wouldn't learn about when Oliver saw some actress naked with just a pair of boots on.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm assuming this must be rated like TVMA, maybe
Um,
TV 14.
maybe 14.
Here I'm
I
gonna
mean,
put.
they don't actually show naked anything, but
Is
they reference it.
I say is there? It is TVMA, so I'm assuming then
Oh,
there
okay.
must be language then. I take it back, because even The Office is sometimes rated TVMA, and it's just all
Yeah,
talking.
I mean, they're talking about murder, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, I guess if they're gonna reenact it, then you should
I was gonna
probably
say
warn people.
it's wild with all the crazy things in this world that so many people find accessible, but then like how it is like Demolition Man at times with how sensitive people are.
Somebody will get offended about just about anything.
I know. And really
So
quick,
do what you're gonna do.
Alaska Jeff said this, and I've been staring at this, and I'm like, why does he have a thumb sticking up as the face he makes when he thinks about Star Trek? Oh, unless you're in the chat, you can't see it. And it finally hit me when I looked over at Rumble, and it's Picard covering his eyes out of frustration. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Matt Cat is a little on my side here. How many people can die in this building? Well, apparently a lot, Matt Cat. Yeah, I almost feel
Depends
like
on.
it's gonna end with like them being the killers. I don't know why. It just seems so fitting, or at least one of them. Like one of them was like, "It was me all along." Ha 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 ha.
Well, one
Uh,
per season. So I guess when it gets canceled, then you'll know how many people can die.
I guess
Or
so.
maybe they'll
Well,
just burn down the entire building with everybody in it.
yeah, I was gonna say, well, they may not get canceled. They might be able to get it to an actual run. But I think too, I saw it's already got like 3 or 4 seasons too. I swear, like I feel like this is a brand new show that just came out. But
I think this is season 5, but I also don't think they necessarily wait an entire year to release another season.
oh yeah, you're
L
right. There
like
is. There are.
like back when we were kids, seasons would always start in September,
Yeah,
and then they would end in May, and now they'll do, like, 13 brand new seasons in the spring, and 13 brand new episodes in the fall, and call them separate seasons, but
yeah,
they're not. It's just one long season.
yeah. No, I hear you. Well, again, great. Thank you for sharing all this. Thanks for coming on tonight. This was a pleasure. I definitely down the road we'll have to come up with something a little different, but find a way to have previous guests back on and find a new topic. Won't just do your top three movies and TV shows, but I, you know, I know you contribute to 8750 every now and then. Are there any plans for you to go back to doing that, or it's just going to be one of those things with Yeti? It's going to be on the fly.
That's just on the fly, but I do have the world's greatest Germany or Florida waiting in the wings.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Germany or Florida. I I do remember listening to like wondering like that sounds like Florida. No, no, no. It's Germany. It's Germany. Yeah, that's great. That was right. That was your game that you played with them. Um very very good. And then, it sounds like I guess just as right you have time, you'll release videos on your YouTube channel for your knitting.
As I finish stuff and have something to talk about, because I mean, I could sit there and talk about I knit another row. Woo!
Um I was gonna say I have to assume like people who paint, there must be people who will knit an entire thing on like a live stream.
It would probably depend on what it is. I mean, it wouldn't be a super large thing. There are people that
Or
will like they'll you can watch them knit a part of it.
yeah, yeah, I was gonna say I could imagine somebody doing like a series of streams, but they just knit a section by section as they go along and talk to the audience. But but yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any? So you don't have anything planned. It's just as you go, right? With the knitting.
Whenever I get a hair up my butt to go do it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, fair enough. Well, very good. I was gonna say if you're on X, you could definitely follow Lisa. She's Yelcat. That's the other thing I want to ask you too, because for a while there you were Lisa H on there. Now you've just switched to the Yelcat. Where did the Yelcat nickname come from?
That was one of my very first handles on the internet because I
Mhm.
had a big yellow cat.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing particularly esoteric. It's just
When I read it, I was like a yelling cat. I'm like, that's what I was thinking. And it's funny too, your AI avatar here. When I first saved this photo, I swear it wasn't a bear, it was a raccoon next to you.
no, it's always been a bear.
And then when you're like, because I was like, hey, I'm like, do you want to use that or is there something else? Because everybody's a little different. And you're like, no, just me and the bear. And I'm like, did you change that from a raccoon to a bear? Because I'm like, I saved this. I'm like, I swear it's a raccoon. And I go back and look and I'm like, son of a bitch, it's a bear. I'm like, how did I not realize that was a bear? I swear it was a raccoon.
Well, I mean, it is an AI bear, so maybe it's a bearcoon.
No, no, I mean, like looking at it now, I mean, it's totally
It's definitely a
100%.
bear.
It's a bear, but I swear when I first looked at it, I swear it was a raccoon.
I am waiting for the day that somebody uses that picture to insult my appearance, because like, when you disagree with somebody and you
Yeah.
just post their picture, and so my response will be, "Well, the joke's on you because I'm the bear, and I am a 10 by Ursa Day standards."
Um, I was gonna say for me, it's a picture of my son wearing uh, a Spider-Man mask, and
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of people. They're like, you don't have a real picture; it's just an avatar. And I'm like, no, it's a real picture. Um, and yeah, I feel like it confuses people, mainly just too because of the R2 thing. And then I've got Spider-Man, but uh, here, if I do this, you can see it's just my kid in a Spider-Man mask.
Seen it before?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm saying I think a lot of people don't realize it's a little kid. That's the funnier part. Um, but
They're like, "R2 is 3 feet tall."
I yeah yeah no I'm totally the opposite. Everybody thinks I'm short, and then they meet me, and I'm not short at all. uh, but anyways, again, thank you so much, and yeah, follow if you're on X, follow Lisa. She's a lot of fun. You're definitely always getting into the politics. Um, I was gonna say it sounds like the government shutdown's over, so you can't do any more Chuck Schumer holding a number pictures. So
Well, I mean, I can. I
you
can I
can,
can drag that out for a good long while, but I'll have to come up with something new.
yeah, yeah. You can just have him hold a sign that says "I suck."
Well, my most recent one was, the photo of him grilling with the cheese on the raw burger. Well, I
Hmm.
used Grok to, like, make him an angry face because he's pretty cranky these days.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when that happened. All those politicians. It was like, who thought that was such a good idea? Like, who wouldn't have been like, can we get an actual burger that's cooked?
Uh, yeah, and I like Nancy Pelosi with her $90 worth of ice cream in the freezer,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's a $5,000 freezer.
yep,
Like,
yeah.
I'm relatable.
Well, we all should have been politicians. If only you had the
Yep.
stomach for it, right?
No, I don't want to have to make those decisions for other people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you got to have the stomach to be one of those people. That's for sure. But yeah, yeah. But nope, she's a lot of fun to follow on X. So go check her out. It's all in the description of the show here. If you want to follow her to subscribe to her YouTube channel, follow her on X. And then, like I said, she's in older episodes. I don't know if they're labeled, but you sometimes can hear her over at 8750 too. So go check that page out there as well. Or you'll
Yeah, look
definitely
for the
see.
podumentary episodes.
There you go. And I was gonna say, or you can always during the live chat, you're there lurking around and hanging out. So
Sometimes. 'Cause that one, it's past my bedtime, so
yeah, yeah, it does get a little late. Well, and it's getting a little late now too. I feel bad. I'm keeping you up. So I think it's time we say goodbye and end the stream. And again, thank you for being here, Lisa. Appreciate it. And I'll be back. Oh, next week. I haven't finalized it yet, so I don't want to say who, but I should be back next week with a new guest as well. Back at my normal time of 10 p.m. Eastern. So, alrighty, Lisa. Have a good night. We'll see you guys all later. I'm sure you're waving, but you don't have your camera on, so it'll just be me. Take care.
adios.